Have you ever felt like you're living in a tough situation, just waiting for a hero to show up? That's exactly where the ancient Israelites found themselves, oppressed by their powerful neighbors, the Philistines. But in their darkest hour, a story of incredible strength, dramatic failure, and ultimate redemption was about to unfold. This is the story of Samson, a man chosen by God before he was even born. It all started with a divine message. An angel appeared to a woman who couldn't have children, the wife of a man named Manoah. The angel had astonishing news. She would have a son. But this wouldn't be just any child. He was destined for greatness, a special servant of God known as a Nazirite. The rules were strict. He could never drink wine, and a razor must never touch his hair. This boy was set apart from birth to begin the liberation of Israel from the Philistines. When the boy was born, they named him Samson, and as he grew, it was clear he was different. He wasn't just strong. He was supernaturally strong. The Spirit of the Lord was upon him, enabling him to perform feats that left everyone speechless. He was a one-man army, tearing a lion apart with his bare hands and defeating 1,000 Philistines with nothing but the jawbone of a donkey. News of his incredible deeds spread like wildfire. Samson became a legend, a symbol of hope for his people. He was the hero Israel had been waiting for, single-handedly pushing back against the Philistine attacks. But with great power came great pride. Samson's strength was a gift from God, but his heart began to believe it was his own. He became reckless, arrogant, and started to ignore the very guidance that made him strong. He often followed his own desires instead of God's will, and this path would lead him straight into a devastating trap. His greatest weakness wasn't a powerful army or a clever enemy. It was a woman named Delilah. Samson fell deeply in love with her. The Philistine rulers, who had been humiliated by Samson for years, saw their chance. They approached Delilah with a tempting offer, a fortune in silver if she could uncover the secret to Samson's legendary strength. They needed to know how to defeat him, and they believed Delilah was the key. Blinded by love, or perhaps greed, Delilah agreed. She began her mission, persistently asking Samson, "Tell me the secret of your great strength." At first, Samson played games with her. He lied, enjoying the attention and perhaps underestimating the danger he was in. First, he told her if he were tied with 7 fresh bowstrings, he would become as weak as any other man. The Philistines hid in the room. Delilah tied him up and shouted, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He snapped the bowstrings as if they were threads. He had made a fool of them. Delilah pouted, accusing him of mocking her. So she asked again. This time, Samson told her to tie him with new ropes that had never been used. She did. The Philistines hid, and again she cried out. And again, he snapped the ropes from his arms with ease. He was still toying with her, with them, feeling invincible. Delilah was relentless. She complained, "You've been making a fool of me and lying to me. Tell me how you can be tied." His next answer was more specific, involving weaving the locks of his hair into a loom. But once more, when she called out the warning, he woke up and easily pulled free. Each lie brought Delilah closer to the truth, and each time, Samson gave away a little more, moving dangerously close to revealing his sacred vow. Finally, after constant nagging, day after day, Delilah wore him down. She whined and accused him of not truly loving her if he couldn't share his deepest secret. Exhausted and emotionally broken, Samson gave in. He confessed everything. "My hair has never been cut," he told her, "because I have been a Nazirite, dedicated to God from my mother's womb. If my head were shaved, my strength would leave me, and I would become as weak as any other man." He had betrayed his sacred vow, his covenant with God, all for a woman who was deceiving him. Delilah knew this was the truth. She sent a message to the Philistine rulers. "Come up one more time." They arrived with the silver in their hands. That night, as Samson slept on her lap, A man came in and shaved off the 7 braids of his hair. His strength, the divine power that had protected him his entire life, was gone. Delilah shouted the familiar words, "Samson, the Philistines are upon you." He woke up, thinking he would shake himself free, as he had done before. But he didn't realize the Lord had left him. This time, when the Philistines seized him, he was helpless. They gouged out his eyes, a brutal and symbolic act. A man who was ruled by what he saw was now blind. They bound him with bronze shackles and took him to Gaza, where they put him to work, grinding grain in a prison like an animal. The Philistines were ecstatic. They threw a massive festival in the temple of their god, Dagon, to celebrate their victory. "Our God has delivered our enemy into our hands." They cheered. They had captured the seemingly invincible champion of Israel. Samson, the hero, was now a broken, blind prisoner, a source of entertainment for his enemies. The fall from grace was absolute. He had lost his strength, his sight, and his freedom. But in that dark, hopeless prison, something began to change. As Samson toiled at the millstone, his hair began to grow back. And more importantly, his heart began to turn back to God. He had been stripped of everything: his power, his pride, his sight. All he had left was his faith. In his desperation, Samson prayed a prayer of repentance and desperation. He cried out to God, asking for one last surge of strength. He wasn't asking for his life back. He was asking for one final act of divine justice. The day of the great Philistine festival arrived. The temple was packed, with thousands of people on the main floor and about 3,000 more on the roof, all gathered to praise their God and mock the fallen hero of Israel. They called for Samson to be brought out to entertain them. A boy led the blind giant into the massive temple and placed him between the 2 central pillars that supported the entire structure. As the crowd jeered and laughed, Samson quietly prayed his final prayer. "Sovereign Lord, remember me. Please, God, strengthen me just once more, and let me with one blow get revenge on the Philistines for my 2 eyes." This wasn't a prayer of pride, but of purpose. He wanted to fulfill his destiny, even in death. Then, Samson placed his hands on the 2 central pillars. He pushed with all his might, a final burst of God-given strength coursing through him. He cried out, "Let me die with the Philistines." The pillars gave way. The entire temple came crashing down, a thunderous roar of stone and timber, crushing everyone inside. The Philistine rulers, the elite, and thousands of their people were wiped out in an instant. In his death, Samson achieved his greatest victory. The Bible tells us he defeated more of his enemies in that single final act than he had during his entire life. His family came and took his body, burying him with honor. His story became a powerful, lasting lesson for generations to come. So what can we learn from Samson's dramatic life? His story is a powerful reminder of the dangers of pride and disobedience. His strength wasn't his own. It was a gift from God, and when he forgot that, he lost it. But it's also a story of incredible grace. Even after Samson's catastrophic failure, God heard his prayer and used him one last time. It shows that God's plan is bigger than our mistakes. No matter how far we fall, redemption is possible when we turn back to him in humility and faith. Samson's life teaches us that true strength comes not from ourselves, but from our connection to God. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button, subscribe for more content, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you in the next video.